So what makes pragmatics special is that it's a way of communicating things indirectly. So instead of saying something directly and literally, exactly, explicitly saying what we want or what we mean, we can often say something indirectly by implying it, saying it through an implicature, saying it with a presupposition, saying something and meaning a different illocutionary force or something like that. So all of these different things that we've been learning about throughout this class. The question that we will look at for the next couple modules is why we do that, because there are some drawbacks to talking in this way. So in particular, if we communicate something indirectly, then this could be risky and it could be costly. So let's unpack what these mean. When I say that indirect communication can be risky, what I mean is there is a risk that you might be misunderstood. So people might interpret something in a different way than what you wanted them to interpret. For example, if I say, it's so hot in here, and I actually mean that as a request, and I want someone to turn on the air conditioning, they might do what I want, or they might misinterpret what I said. They might think I'm just making small talk. And so if I say, it's so hot in here, they might say, oh yeah, I know, right? I feel like it's hot too. So this is the risk that might happen, right? People might take an utterance in a different way than I intended. And I think it's pretty clear that this risk exists because we can see examples in real life of when this happens. The other part of the other drawback to talking indirectly is that it might be costly. And what is meant by costly is that it might take more time or effort to say something in an indirect way than it would take to say it in a direct way. And from the perspective of the hearer or the reader or whatever, it might take more time and effort to interpret what someone means indirectly rather than just interpreting it literally. So maybe it's more work for someone to figure out your implicature or your illocutionary force or whatever than it is for them to figure out your literal meaning. This second part is a little bit more open to debate. So I think it's clear that indirect utterances are risky, and we can see examples in the real world of when they get misinterpreted. But it's less clear whether or not they're really costly. And it depends on how we measure this cost. So how exactly do we measure how much work it takes for someone to say something or to understand something? And this is one of the main focuses of research nowadays in pragmatics and experimental pragmatics, is trying to figure out if indirect utterances are really costly or not. So there's more discussion of this in the module online. But at least this is one possible way that there could be a drawback to indirect utterances, in addition to the fact that they are risky. So these are the drawbacks to communicating indirectly. So these kind of motivate the question that we will get to in the next module of, given these drawbacks, why do we communicate in an indirect way anyway?